Rebecca agreed to a short interview about her activity and some of the workshops that she does. So here's the first question. Could you tell us a few words about you and about your career?
Sure. I'm one of those old object people. I started out doing software and did my first object-oriented programming in the 1980s. I worked at Smalltalk at Tektronix. So I was involved, I was the software manager at the group that first developed and put out the commercial Smalltalk product. So for the last 20 some years, I've been doing object-oriented things, and I still find that even though a lot of the applications I see today are not nearly so beautiful and elegant as Smalltalk, that I can take a lot of that good design thinking and apply it as I work on, enterprise applications in Java or C# or something else. Yeah.
Okay. I've learned that you are from Portland, so I know that the Portland software community is very interesting and vibrant. Could you tell us how it influenced you?
Well, it still influences me. But yeah, the Portland community is where I would say the first commercial object-oriented platform started. And some of the early Smalltalk application programmers were people that you might know as being famous folks like Cunningham and Kent Beck. In fact, they were the users of our first Smalltalk system. So I was influenced a lot by, I was developing the Smalltalk platform. I wasn't writing applications, but I was really influenced a lot by the good applications programmers and how they approach problem solving in an environment like that. So that had a big influence on me and led me to write my book about responsibility-driven design, where I observed what good thinking and problem-solving skills those kind of people had. But more recently, and Word is still doing interesting things, by the way. His latest federated wiki is a very interesting idea that he's working on. So I still am in contact with people like Cunningham, but there's a really vibrant Agile community in the Portland area too. For the past few years, we've been holding an open space where 150 people get together, and I learn a lot from that community as well. So okay. I've had a lot of influence, ongoing and from the past.
Okay, that's very interesting. You mentioned your book on responsibility-driven design. You actually wrote two books, one on design object-oriented software and the other one with object design. Where do you see these books and techniques apply in the modern software development?
So yeah, they were written in the last century, that's true. But I just got a royalty check from Addison Wesley, and so I'm still selling the second book. I'm still getting copies of the second book. I actually think that a lot of the more driven methodologies like test-driven development and domain-driven design have their roots and influences in responsibility-driven thinking. So I find that adding in testing practices to work on your design, or adding a rich domain model using responsibility-driven design principles is a very natural kind of thing. So when I teach classes or work with people, I sort of blend my responsibility thinking into any practice that I use. So it hasn't gone away. It's just it augments the way you can think about systems. So.
Okay. Now, you form many of your ideas and